Welcome back. We are here to do the twin flame update. I have done several videos this morning. We have done the metal ox here. We have done the weekly astrology, and we are here now to do the twin flame connection. Now, I will in the community post put an update as to when the weeklies are going to be back up. I'll be getting organised with that. But while I did say there would be that window for me to get back on top of things after I've been unwell, I'm also going to do probably daily content to hold you over till I have those relaunched again. So we're going to tune into the energy. So I'll keep you occupied while you're waiting. You know, I'm not going to leave you out in the cold. But, you know, we need to be practical during a Mercury retrograde and work with it. Hi, sweet. How are you? So how are you doing? Was that not an interesting portal we have been moving through? I need to open the book to the rune. I'll wait for all of you to connect in. And there's a lot of energy about at the moment. There's, I'm seeing a lot of third eye at the moment. And that can really be coming through because we have Mercury at the moment retrograde. Okay. Feminines, I've got your card. And we're going to be looking at the shadow energy to get into alignment because it has been pretty testing the last few weeks, especially with adversity and a lot of sorrow has been coming through. But it's almost, I wouldn't necessarily say completely sorrow. It can be angst, frustration, moodiness, old things that you've really gone over in your minds, you know, where it comes back again and you're kind of like, why am I looking at it like this for? The coaching and the way I've been doing coaching, I've had to really think outside the box, and that's due to the fact that a lot of you are at different stages on the path. For those of you that don't know, I'm a twin flame coach, cover the astrology. I'm psychic. I am in union. It doesn't mean I'm not immune to, I have ascension symptoms and things, but mine's different. Different from a perspective that I still get the psychic downloads, but a lot of what I have learned through the journey, I do try and, you know, integrate and assist you guys with maybe experiencing that, looking at it from a different point of view. And sometimes that can be really challenging, especially when we're very stuck and we're having an experience that is taking us back. My hair looks great. It's a bit knotty back there. Look at that. But, yeah, it's kind of like bed hair. But this is the way the day's gone. So I'm working with that. You know, no time for vanity. Right, not right now. No, we're in Mercury retrograde. We're dealing with what we get. Okay, I'm going to I've pulled the rune. I'm trying to find it in the book. And my hair keeps going in my nose. Bloody hair. So, yes, you will feel semi-triggered. You will feel, and at times, you know, it's tough. Sometimes when we're looking at videos of things trigger us, it's good. It's, you know, we can think it's bad and maybe our value systems are like, no, that can't be so. And I know from my experience with my twin flame path, as I've mentioned before, which I will try and get a couple of those people that really helped me through my journey to come on the channel. And a lot of what I harp on about are people that have showed me through my experience and also through my twin flame path to look at the shadow energy and how to integrate that with the mirror work. And the mirror work, I must say, between ascension, psychic attacks through your twin flame path, and then reaching that point where you're challenging those ideals can be very painful. And at times you can really feel you've done all the work and they've done nothing. And there can be a lot of anger that can come from that. There also can be very separately, you know, if the person who's delivering that message, it's 9 times out of 10, it is not meant to upset you, but because the pain resonates inside of you, it does upset you. And, you know, when we do know better, we do better. But we also then, it's a fine line because, number one, I will say, we can look at the astrology linked to masculine and feminines. We also very separately can look at spiritual blockages where there is more 5D and sacral chakra energy. So, you know, sometimes I'm guided to jump more into the blockages from a 3D point of view. Other times we can have energy relating to your path. Now, we always talk about mission and we talk about what that is. It's always being on purpose, and you technically, the mission and the things that you go through cause the direct mission. Some of you, yes, you will go into work with the individual. Some of you will have your own, but you're jointly and you're not codependently connected. Yes, there are YouTubers that do have their twins on YouTube, and that's their kind of role. But the ironic thing is, even looking at twins that are in union can cause some shadow energy inside of us, because we then can put it in the too hard basket where we feel we can't achieve those things. And 90% of the time, I will say, with a lot of experiences that twins have gone through over the last 4 years of me being in YouTube, you wouldn't be getting these trigger points coming up and these blockages coming up, where it kind of comes over to our side of the fence where we go, look, I want to live a holistic life. I want to live in a way that these ascension symptoms, the psychic attacks, me feeling my masculine or feminine isn't coming through, that it's that heavy point. And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions. One question that came up last week was, when we're in separation, does the masculine feel the same as we do for them? Yes, they do, but the contract that comes through with the both of you is, while you're unable to work together and the sacral chakra energy is too activated, you won't be able to work together. You move away. Again, it's the desire and the lack of. And when we're running, one is running internally, one is running externally. When we're projecting, it's still there. It's always the mirror. We always have to look at the mirror. And yes, you can actually move towards a soulmate energy, 100%. But you will find with a portion of your twin flame path, when blockages are coming up, it almost makes it really hard to function inside of any connection. So that's when the tag relating to twin flame path can very much feel a little bit like a curse, that we're like, well, am I doomed to never have connection? No, it's not saying that. It's work through those blockages to a point you are able to manage that psychic energy effectively. And then when you're open and you're no longer in that vibration of anger, abandonment, any of those things, and it's more manageable, you'll naturally attract a partner, okay? But again, if there's blockages and it's divinely guided, TF does come back. And I've always found that when I've been energetically ready, I have been very in detachment. I've looked at it to a point. I've looked at it so many levels, and Twin and I have been talking about this all week, that the stories that we concoct in our head that masculine feels to do with us is generally the polar opposite of what we're actually thinking. So, one thing a lot of twins find, if there has been a betrayal in a connection, we can directly go into comparing ourselves to that individual, that maybe we weren't. And I knew that wasn't any point in doing that, but twins do, right? And when you do, you're creating potential scenarios, which can be your personal way of healing. And it is, one viewpoint, but you do reach a point that, no, it's actually not so. It's a very separate energy together. Now, the card, okay, let's get into the road. This is the joint energy between masculine and feminine. We are going to tune into the shadow energy. It could be a karmic, it could be a cycle, it might be a circumstance blocking both energies. Now, the responsibilities at the moment in the yin and yang, which I have mentioned to do with the metal oxyere, I've mentioned also in the weekly astrology, this is going to be a tough week. For soul connections, we're going to have an opportunity with that Mars energy with the moon to look at our shadow and to look at the wounds. For some of you, it can mean that the conversation will occur with your twin. Others of you, it can be the detachment and not needing that. And I've got something that just popped up on my bloody computer. Technology at the moment, I'm telling you. So the joint energy. I love it when universe likes making jokes on us. Okay, you, Swan, Virgo, Gold, Earth, Air. It's really ironic how these runes have been linking in with the astrology. Now, all month, for those of you that have followed me, I have been saying there is something really important about this Virgo full moon. I had been tuning into it well and truly before we had the new moon in Aquarius. And I was really feeling it was a time where we could make peace with things. And again, when you purge through the ego, where you're psychologically going through things, because we're going to have Pisces there. The moon transiting into Pisces by about the 20th, I believe. I can't remember now. Go back and look at that video I did previously for the weekly energy. It'll tell you. You are going to tap into that 5D. You're going to be summing things up. You're going to be understanding things. You can be purging. You can be letting go, but you need to recoup. You do tend to find an ascension. You'll always have hunches when that'll come, and that will be due to the fact that you might be fatigued, chronically fatigued. You'll get movement after that. And it's usually where the masculine will be purging a circumstance, and that really collectively can be coming up this week because we're having heavy hitting aspects to the second house for masculines. So gold, which we did say balances and protects luck with the metal ox, yeah. It does relate to swan, which we do connect in the dots to do with swan being connected in with the twin flames. Now, it's funny. It is visualization in reverse, and this is the chakra. Imagination, focus, experience, manifestation. When you're in detachment, okay, 5D is fluid. 5D can't be controlled. 5D is it's very astro, right? It is psychic energy. It's in the ethers. It's so. When we're fluid like that, we usher it in. When we have blockages, we're coming to terms with things. We're purging through the third eye, which I'm picking potentially a blockage in the third eye. If you've been having headaches and things like that, it is because we're purging a view, a story, a feeling. And being a 4, it's really the yin and yang between the masculines and the feminines within the connection. Now, I'll read into what this is. Protection, sanctuary, prayer, friendship, trust. Esoteric, magical communication with the divine, Uranus and Taurus, and Neptune and Pisces. Absorption and protection of cosmic energies. Faith in the divine. When this rune is drawn, the quadrant may be or in need of protection. And I've been saying this all month. Yes, Tombaline. We're in a Mercury retrograde. You're very 3D, and it can be very stifling. And it can feel, especially because we've got tribe energy there with Aquarius, you can feel like there's an overload when it does come to group activities, responsibilities, social needs, what's happening in the world. We're absorbing that being in soul contracts. We do need to be very careful about the energy we're absorbing. But you are having a spiritual upgrade at the moment. And that is what would I say? When we talk about mission, that is soul mission. We do tend to trigger people around us. But as we're upgrading, wherever you are on your path, be it you're in union, communication, I read for collective energy, as well as I will go back to doing singles, couples, and in between, those of you on the fence. And that's for romance. Quadrant may be in need of protection, but confirms that such protection is assured. All the quadrant needs to do is confirm his link with the divine through prayer. Again, tap into the 5D. That's going to occur more towards the end of the week. And you'll find, because you'll have a summing up of energies at the moment, even having a little bit of quiet time, go back to the adversity, a little bit of quiet time and go back to it. Whatever you're tackling in your own thready life will give you enough strength to get through. When reversed, the rune warns of great peril. I already mentioned that in the weekly astrology. If you're finding there's conflict with certain things or triggers coming up, a twig should be sought out from a living yew tree itself as a powerful protection that has the shape when trimmed. So basically you need to get it in this shape. And what I did, which I do, it's almost like the key to life. So, you know, the Egyptians used to use it, and it's the key to life. And I actually drew it on my arm, on my hand, and I wore it like that for 1 week to psychically protect me. But it also can be the giving and receiving, you know, the protection, use tourmaline. Again, if you feel you need to clear your energy of circumstances, do such. If you feel that certain things aren't working for you, do such, but protect yourself. If you ever see me do that, it's because sometimes the chat kind of jams. The rune itself may be warning of to wear a protective amulet. So do so, okay? Tourmaline, amethyst, to protect yourself. Clear your third eye. Do a third eye clearing, because between the yin and yang, on both sides of the fence, there is a bit of a blockage. Now, there are subjects relating to, hey, YILDIZ, feeling great, but the ex-karmic is ticking time bomb, at least when it exploded. Yeah, it's funny because, you know, some people that go into union, right, it's almost like we feel there's going to be this magic wand and it's done. Now, in some karmic paths, what we do need to understand, number one, initially when you're going through your soul transformation, you physically feel that that person has a lot of power, and they actually don't. You know, as masculine has power, as feminine has power. The karmic only has power where the masculine or the feminine gives them that power. Because, again, it's to do with the cycle. It's to do with the circumstance. And as it shifts, it's disempowered. But in many circumstances, first wavers actually potentially do have children. So there can be scenarioships where you or they have children. And if it is karmic energy, be it it's masculine or feminine, they're going to be there forever. But how you deal with them may change. For us, we had to change that situation. That was a very different circumstance, which I don't really want to get into because I don't pay it any energy. It's, you know, some things are out of our control. We send love and light and we accept it for what it is. We wanted it to be better. I'm sure they wanted it to be better. But sometimes energies can't merge and mesh at that time, and you have to accept it. But the fact that they or I have more power, not one has more, just potentially with the tribe energy with Aquarius doesn't mean that those groups work perfectly together, and it's disappointing. But to actually feel that somehow that frequency could affect you, it doesn't, as long as you're not giving it permission. So to tune out of it and just say, look, I don't give that permission. I know that, you know, my masculine or my feminine can deal with that adversity. That's their side of the fence. And if it isn't, it's cut off. It's like, sorry, that actually doesn't work. That's not working in a tribe domain. And it's not working for the bigger picture. And it naturally comes about. So feminines, you guys are coming through with this rune, and we had this through with Uranus and Taurus, which is very feminine energy. Mars is there too, and Black Moon Lilith. So we as feminines are facing our shadow. Especially when it comes to Mars in your birth chart, feminines, it can be what we're seeking inside another human being. And for a lot of you, you may not have had a provider with you. And when I say provider, a mutual joining provider. So that may have been a partner where they are giving into the relationship from a financial point of view or an emotional point of view. And really having to do that yourselves for a lot, maybe even of your life. Now what we're integrating is the understanding that we are filling that cup inside our life. And if that's a blockage, it will come up karmically this week and throughout the year due to the fact that we have Uranus and Taurus. So we're having a 101 of that at the moment, and it's self-worth energy, it's value, it's our own resources, it's having our own purpose in our life, and it's unity energy. A time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. So, you know, the perplexity and complexity of union is coming through for divine feminines. Now, and it's horrible. And the more you understand astrology, you're like, oh, okay. So this is the rune that feminines have. I'll find you in the book. I did put a bookmark in it. Communication. Okay, what we say, what we speak can show our wounds, but it's also the movements. We currently have Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. We have Venus in Aquarius. I mentioned it in the video. Go through and have a look at that. Now, communication. What is this? Throat chakra. This rune relates to Mars, and I just mentioned Mars, fire. So us having to look at our self-worth energy, maybe marking it against judgment and comparison. Did I not give enough? Why did I not give enough? I gave my all. And again, Mars teaches us some really horrible lessons. So it's always really handy to know your Mars and your birth chart and how you attract a partner, and maybe what your belief systems are inside of that. And that can really break that cycle inside that situation. Hi, Tammy. So, you know, with it, currently in collective energy, feminine, your shadow energy, you are facing, you know, that upset of having to do that. And maybe it was something you told yourself. Maybe it was something where you overgave. And now you can feel really robbed. And that can be emotionally, spiritually, your body. Again, very second house placement. Now, where it's come to at the moment, some of you may be feeling, okay, this person's giving to another energy. It can be facing a shadow inside of that. It can also be you just going, okay, well, that's what I needed. I didn't get that, but now I do have a benchmark and it is 50-50. It's like, you know, if a partner comes in, I don't judge if they have less, but there is a notion that the building needs to be there for us to have that, you know, foundational energy. So you do have communication, self-expression, exchange, stirring, and connection. So yes, during Valentine's Day, there may have been triggers. There might have been emotions coming up. We also may have looked at, okay, why do we have attachment to that? What, you know, because ultimately speaking, you could be in a connection and you could have 20 years and then you could pass away, they could pass away. And we do need to have purpose and we do need to continue on in life. So it does make it hard at the fact that you have that spiritual connection and the psychic energy comes in, but the integration and part of the upgrade always does come through the transits to help us get where we need to be very naturally. Now, it's funny because 2012, I started hearing in my head the burning ring of fire. Fell into a burning ring of fire, yeah. And I'm seeing this here again. Now, we are going to be having an eclipse in Taurus, and I kept saying that as a pivotal point because we do have changes happening. Now, this relates to Mars and Aries, the constellation. We may be feeling emotions, but we are going to be able to, through maybe epiphanies, locate where those blockages are and locate how we're feeling to do with life. But you are going to be attracting a high vibe energy in because you're moving through the purgatory experience, be it it's a soulmate, be it it's a twin flame, but you generally do usher them at the same time. It's kind of that funky thing that happens. So I did say Taurus, right? I did say I feel this is like the eclipse in Taurus because mundane, money, success, wealth, status, power, ambition, opportunity, Mars is in Taurus. Self-worth energy for feminines, esoteric, generative energy, mobility, creativity, magical powers. That, you know, that's our energy we put into our 3D life, where we're giving, where we're taking healthy boundaries. In reverse, destructive, greed, discord, power struggles, burnout. Now, it's our shadow energy. It can be where we're looking at that and we're thinking that person's giving to somebody else. Why aren't they giving to us? It can also be what is projected towards you, how it has affected you. But it's not just coming from masculine, guys. It's actually collective energy because at the moment, I'm seeing a massive theme relating to Venus and Aquarius, and it's pack and group mentality. And yes, it can be karmic cycles. I will pull a card for that because we're moving away from patterns. And unfortunately, the more research you do, you know, first wavers theoretically are 18 to 90. And, you know, it doesn't mean to say they're all like that age. But when I talk about first wavers, I'm talking about this new group of energies going in. Some of you are already in and you're working through your triggers still. So I do have twins that I've been coaching that are in, it's union. And I remember everyone saying, oh, you're in union. Thanks, Stel. But you're still doing the work when you go back in, guys. It's not like this magic wand and everything's sorted. It's not bad, but it's better. But you have to retrain yourself to not move back to codependency, and you'll fall in and out of that through your life. To not go into the victim consciousness, to be in self-awareness. So it's a constant, you know, it's because you need to. It's because you're moving towards that alignment energy. Okay, what is this energy to do with karmics, please? What is this? It keeps coming up. I can see it right there. Where is it? Inner child. Okay, can be to do with a family-related dynamic, healthy boundaries. 6 is the house of hidden enemies. Let's find out what's going on masculine side. We'll get back to that in a moment. But yes, communication is coming up, right? Masculines have the devil card, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, and I'll tell you the reasons why. They, in their own chart, do have Taurus on the second, which is their Mars. It is within their own energy, but it is to do with their career, self-worth energy. And currently with Aquarius being there, in their groups is a stifling and becoming an over energy of everyone needing on a masculine, right? If they're physically feeling that has been maybe a picture that they wanted in their life and they could be in a connection, and it's like, oh, this is the way a beautiful life looks. Embodying that and being in that, if it's becoming harder and harder and harder, and it's a bit like another contract, they're really looking at it going, whoa, enough is enough. This is toxic. And I'm seeing them looking at the shadow. And it's taxing. It's pulling from them. Now, the rune that they have is this. We're going to go to the page. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, intuition. Purge, ego purges, like, and feminine. You know, the crowning energy between you is intuition. Third eye clearing to the crown. Okay, so collectively, masculines and feminines in your 3D life, you're clearing things. And on your 5D, it feels a bit delusional, right? You feel a bit disorientated. So, same thing coming through for masculines with this devil card. I think this is what they're experiencing and visualizing, key pointing what these things are and going, oh, wow, okay. Now, it connects to Noor, deity, color, black, element, water, emotions relating to these areas. It is one of the most difficult runes to interpret, as even the mundane mean is uncertainty. I'm telling you, Uranus and Taurus. We need to all collectively protect ourselves against this shift that's about to happen. We're moving into it. A lot of you as twin flames, I feel, are already feeling this, and it feels like a huge pull towards that Virgo moon to purge some things. So mystery, chance, an unpredictable event, intimate encounter, esoteric, unfolding, karma, fate, feminine mystery, initiator, events, incubation, reversed, irritational fear, vulnerability, ill fortune, faults, or mistakes exposed. But I feel this is linking to the past, like, you know, if they've stayed stuck in a circumstance, in a cycle, right? This is them looking at, okay, what are the paradigms in society that tells me, and this is where Saturn in Aquarius is going to feel like an absolute burden with Uranus and Taurus coming through. Uranus wants to liberate us. Saturn chooses to restrict us, but sometimes it's tough love. It's like, no, wait. Don't go yet. Look at this, because it's going to give you the soul closure. Sometimes when we sit in something, we know certainly we will never go back to it. And that's why this has come up. Okay. To the unfainted, fate is simply a matter of chance in which we play no active part. Hence the association with the dice cup and games of chance. But the fact is that our every thought and action is stirred into a cauldron. And I mentioned this, witch's cauldron. Oh, that's what I was feeling all month. By our own hand, as we unwittingly brew our own fate. When we drew this rune, we will see if we have loaded the dice in our favor, or if we have brewed ourselves a bitter drought that we may find hard to swallow, a bitter pill to swallow. That which is hidden will be revealed. On a more esoteric level, intimate initiations into the feminine mystery and the workings, which can place us in a very privileged position with regards to understanding our place in life. Reversed warns against succumbing to irritational fear in the unknown, the mystery of life that are threatening to end. The only thing that dies is fear. And it's not reversed. It's reflecting upon the past. Okay? It's in the upright, but it's reflecting upon the past, addressing a 3D circumstance right here, right now. So I've been smudging for the last few days. It's like, yeah, heck. Whew. And it has been getting better with it. But from an auric point of view, like I could have come towards you guys yesterday, but it wasn't going to serve anything, because sometimes you have to go through portals. Sometimes you have to be able to, you know, embody that energy, see what the downloads are, see what the blockages of the emotions are. And some of you might have done like gone, wow, you know, I've just had the best day. Others can be very much, you know, there can be anger, there can be things coming through. Sometimes you have to directly move through that portal. I mean, how many of you were looking at Valentine's Day reads? How many of you felt it actually, did it help? Did it help you understand? What did it give to you? It depends on where you are in the cycle of your journey. And this, not one's wrong or right. But as my guides were working with me, I was like, too ripe right now, wait till tomorrow. And that's why I'm here. Exactly. Anger coming up. And so if I had come, this is the unfortunateness, because the people that were coaching me before, I can honestly say I feel sorry for them, because I literally would, I'd lose it at them. And that's all that would have happened. Because, you know, sometimes we shoot the messenger, right? And it's through love. But the thing is, when you're going through that, we do need to place ourselves in that corner and go, okay, what's coming up with my emotions? What is the shadow coming up, you know? And don't tell yourself those false stories that you're not going to reach your newest self. You're not going to have that. It's pointless thinking of that, because, again, you're concocting something that is what's inside of your control is the energy work you do. What's outside of you, which is what you should, you know, really move towards in your ascension, is to not tune into that of what is outside of your control. As you have energy to upgrade and you have the ascensions, they're having the ascension too. And you'll always know, because there'll be times when you're not thinking about them and they'll come through, and that's because they're thinking on you, especially if they're really random things coming through. Karmic cycle, please. What is this? And heck. I always find it really interesting to tune in. I don't really care about it, but sometimes it does help us understand the complexity of things. Yes, I was looking at reads, but turned it off after a minute. What did you find in it when you were looking at it, though? Did it serve it? You know, were you hoping for some sort of a, you know, a revelation or maybe a key point? Because, you know, a lot of what I teach and when I do energy work, how do I put it? I can't, how do I put it? There's, every one of us will be connected to a reader. And I know this is a reality. So it depends on where you are in the story of your life spiritually. Sometimes you will resonate, and you know, there's hundreds of fantastic YouTubers. So this has got nothing to do with me. This is more me knowing what I've been through. And so at times I would look at yin yang, and I would, even if I did go to a romance read, I would initially look at it from a point of view of, okay, what does that mean? What potentially could they be doing? But the funny thing is, my rising sign and their zodiac sign is the same. And then my sign, it swaps. So we have the same signs in our chart. So I had no reason but to do the shadow work, because it was like, is that me? Is that them? Well, that sounds the same. So heck, we must be going through the same thing. Let's have a look. Some of you have this protection coming up at the moment. You know, one breath you're really wanting them to come through, another breath you don't. Some of you are looking at what healthy boundaries is, okay? Stand your ground. Your footings, to a degree, could maybe not be that. Others of you may be feeling that if you are near your masculine, there might be temptation there for you. And there could be some nervous elements to do with that. The healthy boundary is with self, and it's you know, and challenge that and acknowledge it, because there can be times when you walking into that and knowing that you can control it can be very helpful. I started watching readers and I realized it is because I'm a natural energy reader. Yeah, look, I mean, my gift over the years has changed. I mean, you know, and a lot of, this is the thing, a lot of us are expecting, this is an example, through the twin flame path, and my reading styles. First, it was psychic. And this is before I even knew I was a twin. It was like probably 2, 5. I was already seeing things energetically. As I moved forward, it started being like cup readings. Then it was people would leave coffee cups at my door. I was nursing. People would leave cups at my door, hot chocolates and things like that, and I give them telephone readings. Then it was Facebook for several years. I think I had about 10,000 on Facebook, and I was just giving free readings away to develop it. Then I was, I've always been psychic, so it's been remote. I don't need a cup. I don't need a device. I don't need a card or a rune. I energetically can see that in a forward, backwards, and even from a healing point of view, working with sick people, I can feel aura. I feel it. So it's developed and changed. So you will find to compartmentalize yourself into one thing is going to be impossible. So even this channel, it's impossible to compartmentalize it into one thing, because as my gifts develop, I will attract that right group. So that right group of where they are spiritually, I am then that right person for that group. And by holding myself back, that's kind of caused a bit of stagnation. Yeah, I know. Okay, at the moment, there is intuition at the moment where this card's in reverse for feminists. There can be things where you're thinking, look, I don't feel the 5D. I don't see this happening. I feel quite disillusioned. Maybe we're not twins. And, you'll get to the point you won't need the tag, because there'll be too many synchronistic things even if you were to say to yourself, you're not a twin, you're like, but this happened and that happened. And even if we don't have the tag, that's so. And, the tag then will, sometimes the tag, it assures us of a journey. And then at a later stage, it makes us feel we're cursed in a journey. So, and then we feel it's sort of like a diagnosis. So the relationship you have with that will evolve too. And that's fine. Don't shade yourself for it. You can be like, oh, God, I'm kind of cursed, right? Yes, psychically protect yourself. You're purging at the moment. A lot of you are wanting movement, communication, to have the clarity, to hear their viewpoint, to heal this Chiron energy. You're psychically feeling them, then you're feeling nothing. But again, it's like, where's this union at, right? Where is this union? We're moving through this portal. But you've got to reach union with self. And do you know what happens by that? I'll show you. This is always the reason I say to reach union with self, where I got to. And nothing ever mirrors everything straight to a T. I can tell you, anytime I reach reunion, I did get to and I can't say a perfect, peaceful state, but I was like, look, I've looked at it every which way. And when I let go and just focus on something else, and I have no attachment to what he would need to do, how it would need to be, if it was my fault, it's basically letting it have a death. It's like make peace with the past, right? Then you reach union with self, then the proposal comes. And then the rebirth. Okay, there's cycles, right? But stop thinking you're going to have to climb a bloody mountain. There's hundreds of mountains in life. There's hundreds of mountains in life. And then it's going to cause a separation. No, it's a story you're telling. You've got to get, cycles are always happening. Cycles are always happening. Doesn't mean but it's the stability. What we're changing around at the moment is attachment. It's like you will have so many of these happen. Do you know what you will get to? And I'm being perfectly honest with you. You will live authentically in the moment, because you just realize you're attracted, you move in, you upgrade, it doesn't define you, and you're like that. It's like I used to say before years ago, go back and look at my 2018 videos. Sit back, have a pina, and I don't promote alcohol. It's an analogy. It's have a pina colada, have a holiday. You're having a holiday right now. You're having a spiritual upgrade. They're going to come back. Some of you may not want them back, and that's fine. The healthy boundary is with self. You can go, look, this is not for me, but there won't be angst and anger. You'll reach that closure cycle And a lot of you are feeling this, but a lot of you are on the fence to do with it. Do I just walk away and it's very 3D, or do I go back into this okay union? Now, many of you are so close to self-union. You're in and you're out. And the reason being is because the residue, where you're looking everywhere and you're going, where is that residue blockage? I just don't get it. Where's it gone? It'll come naturally. Stop forcing it. Allow it to come up naturally. If you need to, journal. If you need to, talk to someone spiritual. And you will see where it is. Then as you have that download, you'll grasp what it is, and there'll be detachment. You'll reach that ending cycle to do with that karmic blockage, and movement will happen. And it is really that quick. I'm not joking. Some of my light bulb moments were, okay, somebody told me one day I had to accept something, and it was like that meant, to me, the term, and this is why I say words and how you feel about them will have a direct link to your understanding of it. And that's why we have the 7 languages of love, and how each person has a different view. So you can think your masculine loving you as X, Y, and Z, and masculine can think by you being BZQ is love. But both of you are showing it, but you're not hearing, seeing, understanding each other's communication style or love style. Moving away and keeping you out of it is love. They're like, I'm making a mess, and you won't say no. You won't walk away from me, so I'm going to have to give something ugly. Because, and I have to say this, that's what happened to me. It was like, no, we can do this, we can do this. Hold it up. Yeah, nobody asked you to do that, YILDIZ. I believed in my intuition. It was my role to do that, and I have to take accountability for that. So I had to step back and go, okay, acceptance. Acceptance is where things are. Acceptance is, it doesn't mean condoning things, and it doesn't mean that's great. No, that's not hot. I don't like that. Or that's you, boo. And I'm not talking about masculine. It can be a circumstance. It can be a karmic cycle. It can be a vibration or something that you're feeling inside yourself. And all the things you're entitled to have, you will have. You're entitled to them. Let's have a look at masculines. Okay, the in-between energy. I'm telling you, parenting and children, family-related dynamics, conditioning coming up. Co-creative endeavors coming up. So this blockage, it was, we're trying to keep on path, but truthfully, the biggest download I had this week was, where are we giving our power away due to circumstances in our life with tribe that allow this to be affected? And it's on both sides. It really is. So many circumstances and times I directly put my complete life on hold on my needs because of other people, because of paradigms. And it was a huge light bulb moment I had this week. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's going to be interesting. Okay. People aren't being so nice at the moment. Shadow energy masculine is looking at. He's saying the shadow energy of this, and he's feeling that it's actually, the funny thing is, this projection energy is showing masculine where they've physically never had power, they've had fear. Manipulation, codependency, fear. It's not hot. But we all have this in us, right? We all have this shadow energy. What do we need to know to do with this, please? Getting wicked sinus. So how are we all doing? Very yuck. Yes, so true. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm not saying it's easy. I totally get it. And look, those of you that are in union, it's not, those of you that have been in union for a while, and I do have followers that are in union, but they're very quiet because most YouTubers only address the ones in no communication. And that's why we don't see it, guys. It's because there are people in union, not just the YouTubers on YouTube, but they quietly sit in the background to observe this, and they have to get the ins and outs of how that could directly resonate. And it does, because it's the shadow work we do. So those of you that have been watching me that are in union, moving through adversity and conflict, look, you could be in communication. We always are interconnected, but it's from what veranda we're working from. Let's put it that way. Okay. Oof. I called my partner out on his manipulation this weekend and he pulled himself together. And instead of fighting back, he gave me a hug. Yeah. Very heavy, difficult energy, struggling with major decisions, grieving and acceptance. If the decision is based on twin, it's not, how do I put it? It's different if you have a partnership in front of you and something's being offered to you, but it wouldn't be a decision then because it'd be perfectly clear. That's when you know that it's almost like you're mad at yourself, but it's like, why be mad at yourself? Alignment is everything. If something's not ripe yet, why jump into something simply because then it's running? There's no point going into a new connection, i.e., and this is an example, I'm not dictating. This is something each needs to sit with in a shadow phase. If I have a path to go left or right, has the other left or right arrived? You know, because we're not going anywhere, right? We're in our own vibration. We're in our own energy. So if, for instance, you had a twin communicating with you and they were all over the shop and you had another offer there, but you haven't emotionally even healed from twin and you've got this other person who seems perfect and lovely, you're going to be splitting yourself because you're still trying to make mental sense of the situation. So it's not rocket science when it comes to it. But sometimes we just want to cut the limb off and keep going. My twin's home now, so I'll have to wrap this up in a minute. He'll probably come home screaming, hello, wanting to have a smoke with me. Okay, betrayals of the past, shadow work being done. Keeping our cards close to the chest. Unrelated, but both paths available. Go the road less travelled. Okay, a balance is coming, but we're trying to take balanced action. But some of you are feeling as though you're waiting forever and that's paving you. And that's understandable. But you don't want to pick incorrectly. And you definitely are aware of manipulation. I would say at the moment, gauge it. You're going to have your victory. This is the thing. But I do feel through this week, if there's something you need to move around, the emotion you're tuning into, some of you are thinking as though this is going to be like this forever. It's not going to be like this forever. Tune out of their work. If you think, you know, how do I put it? I would say this week it's a personal process. I wouldn't jump in and make any major decision. That's me as a spiritual healer. You have to do what is right for you. If you do feel torn and on the fence and you're going over emotional ground, there's a lot of healing to do with the past. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the karmic energy and we'll see what comes up there. I was hoping for a hello, but it didn't happen. I feel totally okay with it, though. I know he's not really... Yeah. You know, you twin for 5 years. Yeah, there you go. Emma even said it. It's hard, and that's why I want to go back to being the more authentic YILDIZ of reading for twins in union, reading for twins on the fence, and that, you know, and doing the videos that way too, because this is where we're at. I think we've been a bit in distortion about that. This is collective energy. Go look at romance video, look at the yin and yang. Look at it from your romantic partner point of view, but then look at it how it relates to your side of the fence. That's where you're going to get the healing. Okay, shadow energy of karmics. Okay, fear of isolation. This is pulling up their inner child. This can be pulling up aggression to do with children, using children for weapons. You know, no self-worth energy, very Mars, not balancing their Mars energy. Negative energy, right? But this is the funny thing. This is the sinister energy I was talking about. Laughter. This is not healthy. Okay, you don't want these people in your life. You don't want that dark energy. That's yeah. Next, no. Okay, why? Fears of isolation, very egoic, very dark energy. Clear energy, guys. Okay, wanting to sabotage this. Yeah, because they feel it's theirs. Coming through like they want to balance and that they've got everything right, but they're not accepting an ending, but the ending is there. Yeah, very karmic cycle. Okay, this can be coming up this week, so just be... I'm going to get my smudge stick. Okay, love and light, guys. I'll come back later. I may come this evening and do another energy update. We'll see how we go. Book now. The special's on only for a few days. If you do have trouble, inbox me on the website if you want me to tune into your situation. But I would say if you need to get balanced and work through those blocks, you can. This is what's coming up. There's something you're moving through. You're coming into this section, right? Yeah, gotta let something go. There's a blockage and there is going to be this coming, but you've got to be in alignment to receive that. It's a karmic that's doing that, though. I don't think this is a masculine or a feminine. This is a karmic. This is malefic energy. It's really shadowy. It's very sadistic. It's kind of like, this is all over the shop. Negative energy. Financial freedom in reverse. Why? Because it's codependency. Parenting children. Okay, well, these are, maybe those energies are on their plate, but, not coping. And again, solar plexus, inner child. Children, family, ego, manipulation, sometimes trapping people. Yeah. Thank you, YILDIZ. That's okay, doll. Yeah. God rest. God bless. God bless. Yep. May you find your road. I love you guys.